actually started undergraduate research about last year in the spring. That started out, my first position was as a research analyst and the executive assistant for Dr. Patrick Walker. And we did like different things like legal audits. We looked into different companies and what their form of, pretty much what their form of motivation for their employees were and all the different like models that they were structured around to kind of keep their company performance going and their different operation methods. I was just curious and honestly like the legal side of business that kind of led me into that. And then, one door opened the next because just staying interested in different things kind of led me to different research projects. So, Dr. Janice Fernhamer, I actually met her. I had took her class. She took it's pretty much called a bourbon oral history class, and we studied all the different things of pretty much revolving around the bourbon industry itself, the main influencers of the bourbon industry, different scientific stuff, which is crazy. You would not think that drinking bourbon or making bourbon is really scientific, but it is. It goes from distillation, and also we just looked at different things like the Whiskey Rebellion. There's a lot of history to it, and a lot of people don't know that a lot of consumer protection starts from the bourbon industry, and that was just a couple of different things that we looked at. At the end, our final project was pretty much to interview somebody that's a woman that was a high figure, and not really a high figure, but any position. They all play their part, and we were supposed to index and kind of learn the different things of oral history and journalism as well. It was 22 interviews. I conducted one on my own. I was lucky enough, so talk about curiosity and like being interested in certain things. One person that she listed was Jessica Pendergrass, and she is general counsel and pretty much chief director of compliance at Heaven Hill. And she's actually the first attorney, let alone being a woman, at Heaven Hill, which is, it is actually the only private-owned, pretty much distilling company around like bourbon, within Kentucky. And I found that really interesting, and I got the chance to interview her, and we talked a lot about law, about the bourbon industry, things that we thought would change. And we just had our meeting last week to get kind of like orientation and training over it. It's going to be the first time I work with like microfilm and things like that. The title of this project is called Documenting Racial Violence in Kentucky. And so what we're looking at is all the different lynchings that took place within Kentucky. And we're going to pretty much give these people an actual, bring their story to life. Because if you look at the documents or if you look at newspapers, it might just list a name, which also may not really be a name of that person. It might be a nickname. And it just, it gives an allegation, doesn't really give what actually happened, because they also wanted to shift the narrative. And so what we're doing is we're just pretty much trying to bring those people to life rather than just being another statistic. Within the bourbon industry, you have a lot of different stereotypes of who drinks bourbon, who makes bourbon, things like that, especially with minorities as well. And women fall into that category when it comes into the bourbon industry. So we wanted to shed light on it and give really credit to the people that did, all the women that did a lot of different things, and as well as minorities, whether they're Black, Hispanic, things like that, that are unheard of and that go unrecognized. And this was part of it, to do that. And it just kind of, once again, sparked a different form of curiosity for me. I might have read something, things like that. I might have read different cases, or I've heard somebody during these interviews say something that kind of made me think, oh, what about that? How can I help with this? So that's one thing research has definitely helped me with, is just to be more open-minded, and don't hesitate to jump on the opportunity.